Hi, Tylord here with a collection video. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I had some free time. The family's gone, so I thought it would be fun to do a PlayStation 3 collection video. I've never done a PlayStation 3 collection video before. I think I've been doing this on YouTube for like 3 or 4 years, and I don't think I ever got to PlayStation 3, which is good because my collection has built up quite a bit over the past few years. So I'm going to do a PlayStation 3 collection video today. I'm going to try to run through them as fast as I can. I'm not going to discuss each game. I'm going to highlight a few that I really like, recommend a few of them. I've really been into the PlayStation 3 a lot lately. I'm not going to share my consoles. I have a slimmer version of like a 350 gig hard drive PlayStation 3 that we do most of our gaming on. It's over here in the bedroom. The girls usually watch their DVDs on it, but the one I like the most is the original 60 gigabyte PlayStation 3 with the backwards compatibility. You can play PlayStation 2 games on there, so you have unlimited save data on there. I've really been digging playing PlayStation 2 games on there lately and PlayStation 1 games over the past couple of years or whatever it's been. PlayStation 3 was not my choice at the time. I remember it was 360 was my choice, but as it went on, I think my wife got some Best Buy gift cards from her job because she did such a great job at her job. She got like a few $100s worth of Best Buy cards as a reward, and so we got the PlayStation 3, mostly because back then we were obsessed with Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls 4, and we were always fighting over the Xbox who's gonna play it, so we ended up getting the PlayStation 3 with the Elder Scrolls 4, so we each had our own. I guess one of us could have played it on the PC, but I'm not really into the keyboard and mouse for that type of game. Anyway, that's back before we had kids and we had a lot of money and time on our hands. But over the past few years, PlayStation 3 games have been dirt cheap. I've been finding them as cheap as 50 cents around. So I have quite a few. I don't know if I have 50 games here or not. But I'll get to that right now. But before that, it's been a while since I've done any shout outs. I like to shout out, if I start doing these videos in this format again, I'd like to start shouting out different channels to watch. I won't be doing this as much as before, but I would like to give you some material you can watch more. So I'm going to shout out 3 channels right now. There's quite a few I'd like to shout out, but for now it's just going to be 3 per upload I do. 3 channels I highly recommend that I've been watching. And I'll put a link to these in the description. Check out these channels and please subscribe. Tylord sent you. First one's going to be Fancy Action Now, hosted by Toro Loco. I've really been enjoying his stuff over the past couple of years. I feel like his content is amazing. He has some really amazing discussions regarding video games, movies, video game industry and stuff like that. I don't think he quite gets the views he deserves. A big collector of video games. Really enjoys his discussions he has on movies and video games and whatnot. He does a lot of live streaming. I like to check out his live streams as frequently as possible. Anyway, just give him 15 minutes and you won't be disappointed. Next one is a new channel I've been watching, a very small channel. Hopefully it can grow some more. It's called DVdeez Nuts and Popcorn. It's hosted by this guy that looks like Tight White. He even has he looks just like Tight White, only I think he has like a missing ring finger on his left hand. I think Tight White has all of his digits. This guy looks just like Tight White. He talks just like him. I think he's even from Texas and even has the same dog as him. But it's not quite video game related. It's all about movies and food reviews. A lot of taste tests and stuff, fun stuff like that, like comparing different food items from different restaurants, drinks, lemonade, stuff like that. He has his daughter help him out with a lot of the taste tests and all that. You'll be seeing a lot of movie discussions, food recommendations, stuff like that. It is one of those food review channels. Third one, I think I've mentioned before, but I kind of want to shout him out because I don't think he has the views that he should. And this guy is super professional. Mekel Kasanova, the Kasanova podcast from Hawaii. He has really great up-to-date video game reviews. I'm not really into modern games, but he'll bust out reviews on games as they come out. He has big-time guests on there, like big-time voice actors, people in the video game industry. He's had quite a few big names on there. He streams a lot all the time. I think he mostly does streams on Twitch now. I'll put a link to his Twitch channel and his YouTube channel. I just feel like he doesn't have quite the following that he should. So maybe try to get him 2 or 3 more subscriptions from Tylord here. He's a lot into the fighting games like I am, and beat 'em up games, so I like to watch his fighting game and beat 'em up streams. I think he does like Final Fantasy streams right now, Final Fantasy 14. I'm not really into that, but it's fun to hang out with him when I got the time on the stream. Yeah, so check out for Tylord, please. Fancy Action Now, DVdeez, Nuts and Popcorn, and Mekel Kasanova. But I'll get to some more shout outs later on. Hopefully I can keep doing this type of format. Hopefully I have time. Anyway, on to the PlayStation 3 collection. I've been putting this off too much. Let's start off with one of my favorite things. One of the things that keeps me attached to video games are James Bond video games, because I'm big time into the James Bond movies. This generation of games had a few really good ones on the PlayStation 3. I'll go through those right now. Here I have GoldenEye 007 Reloaded. This is an amazing game. It's sort of a remake. It's actually like a remake of GoldenEye. Both in terms, it's a remake of the N64 game, and it's sort of like a remake of the movie. It's recasted with Daniel Craig, Judi Dench, and a lot of the actors from the new Bond movies. All the actors are different, like Xenia is different, 006 is different. I kind of wish they would have kept Sean Bean. The guy in here looks like a wanker. But this is a fun game. It has multiplayer too, just like GoldenEye. I see right here it says exclusive character Hugo Drax and Moonraker Pistol. Hugo Drax is one of my favorite Bond villains. That actor just died recently, Michael Lonsdale. Man, this game has some amazing graphics too. I know it's a port of a Wii game, but this looks amazing. At one point in the game, you're in a club, and you walk into the club, and it kind of overlooks the dance floor. There's like hundreds of people dancing around down there. I thought that was just like a background or something. Like those can't all be individual characters down there. Like you're looking around with your phone, you're trying to identify someone. But you actually walk down the stairs and you go into this big dance. Of course, a lot of them look the same, but I just thought it was amazing looking. You go down into the dance floor and you're just walking around hundreds of these people. You're trying to facially scan or ID them. I just thought it was amazing graphics, especially for the time that these old games could do something like that. Anyway, GoldenEye Reloaded. Here's a great third-person action adventure shooter, Bloodstone. 007 Bloodstone. This has Daniel Craig in it. I think he does his voice. He has his likeness. It's third person. I always like the third person games because I like to see Bond on the screen. This plays just like Uncharted style gameplay. There's a few racing levels, so it's similar to the older Bond games with a variety of different types of levels. There's on foot levels and there's racing levels. This is published by Activision. All the new games are published by Activision. I don't know who has the Bond license now. We haven't seen one in a while, just like we haven't seen a movie in a while. The movie keeps getting pushed back, unfortunately. This is a fun game. The multiplayer in this is awesome. I don't know if the servers are still going. You get these little perks in multiplayer battle where if you take out an enemy hand to hand with like a knife or a choke or whatever, it gives you these little points where you get insta-kills with your guns, so you don't have to aim at anyone. You can just lock onto them and fire, and you hit them and you kill them without even aiming. You only get those from from taking the opponent down with your hands. So it's fun when you fill up your little your 3 little stars of that. You can just take out 3 guys at once, like lock on and bam, bam, bam. Take out 3 guys in multiplayer. I hope the server's still going. I'm not sure about it. Oh, here's Quantum of Solace. This is another fun, typical Bond game, first person. This is the first one that came out. I should have shown this one first. Similar to GoldenEye, it follows the movie Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace all in one game. It's a first-person shooter, but it does have cover shooting. Like it goes to third person when you take cover. So this is a really enjoyable one. And then this one here, a lot of people don't like it, 007 Legends. I really like it. Daniel Craig in here once again. It's sort of like how they did with GoldenEye. They went and remade sections from a lot of the classic movies, but they put Daniel Craig in there. So some of the actors look different. Some of them are the same actor. They look exactly the same. Like once again, Michael Lonsdale is Drax in here. Richard Kill is Jaws. There's a Moonraker. I think the Moonraker level is my favorite. It's sort of like a remake of Moonraker. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. 1979. That's the year I was born. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Yeah, but it has like a Bond movie from each era. But it's Daniel Craig is the Bond. It's first person. I tend to really enjoy this. There's a Goldfinger level. There's a On Her Majesty's Secret Service level. There's a Moonraker level. A License to Kill level is really cool. And then Die Another Day. That's not a lot of people's favorite Bond movie, but the Ice Palace level in here is really cool. That's it for the Bond games. Okay, some racing games. Here's a cool one. I got that for $4. Need for Speed The Run, where you race across the country. It's kind of cool to see little like landmarks, real life landmarks in this game. Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. I haven't really played that. I think that came with a bundle I got. Any recommendations? Let me know if I should play any of these. Motorstorm. That's a very early PlayStation 3 game. Probably like when it first came out. This is a good little off-roady, kind of arcadey style racing game. Here's a FIFA. I'm not really into soccer, but here's a FIFA 11. I'm just gonna keep it for the sake of having it. Doom 3. I actually got this off of OfferUp when I purchased my PlayStation 3. That came with it. I haven't spent much time on this. I have it on the original Xbox. I spent some time on it. They're pretty creepy. Sci-fi space horror game. Dark Kingdom, I know that's another early one. I think that came with a bundle I got, so I haven't spent any time on it. I'm sure it's like a hack and slash adventure, beat 'em up. Maybe in the vein of God of War, I don't know. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I'm not really into these. I don't want to start getting sucked into these games. They might take over my life. I have a hard enough time putting down like single player games, but if I start doing these online multiplayer games, that's the end of it. Borderlands 2. I haven't finished Borderlands 1 yet, but I like the style of this game. Kind of like an RPG shooter, first-person shooter, post-apocalyptic, kind of like Mad Max. And Killzone 3. I haven't done Killzone 2 yet, so I haven't gotten to that. Red Faction Armageddon, another one I didn't get to. I think I got this for $1, so I couldn't pass that up. Call of Duty Ghosts, another Call of Duty. Haven't played it yet. Well, actually, I think I did play this multiplayer with my brother-in-law. Good times. And then Soldier of Fortune Payback is the other military shooter I have. Haven't really spent any time on that. Red Dead Redemption, I kind of got overwhelmed with this one. I started playing it for a couple hours, just kind of overwhelmed. Really amazing GTA style game set in the West. It's very similar to Gun, which I played through many times on the generation before that. So I don't know why I didn't spend more time on this. It's a lot like Gun, which I admire. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I kind of wanted to challenge myself by beating this, but I don't know if I can do it. After I beat Ninja Gaiden on NES, No Death Run, I felt like I could take on anything, but this is a totally different monster right here. Heavy Rain is one I was kind of interested in. I played a lot of the demo and it was something sort of intriguing, but I haven't played through the game yet. I like this developer. It's called Quantic Dream. I like that game Omicron, the Nomad Soul for Dreamcast. The same developers. Here's Ghostbusters. I think I just picked that up recently. For what I played of this, it's very amazing. I need to complete it. This is one I've always wanted, and I couldn't never find it. Now I finally got it on all the systems now. Oh, here's Bad Company Battlefield. I haven't played that one yet. Kane and Lynch Dead Men. I think that's the second one in the series. Or is that the first one? Yeah, that might be the first one. Yeah, co-op action game. I think it's like a heist game or something. It looks intriguing. Here's one I've never touched, but it's supposed to be amazing. Grand Theft Auto 5. That's one I'm kind of afraid to start on. I hear a lot of great things about these. I got that for $2. Batman Arkham City. Right here, this is like an open world Grand Theft Auto type thing. Max Payne 3, haven't played that. I really like Max Payne 1. That's probably one of the first games I played on the original Xbox was Max Payne. So it might be fun to get into that. Tomb Raider, I played a little bit of this. It's really serious gritty compared to the old Tomb Raiders. Really amazing graphics though. I hear it was remastered on the PlayStation 4, but this looks darn amazing to me. I can't imagine it looking any better. Here's one that Alex, That Game Collector, gave me, Force Unleashed 2 and a nice 10. I haven't beaten Force Unleashed 1 yet, so I haven't gotten to that. Assassin's Creed 3, I think this is the one during like the American Revolution. I really can't get into these games. They look amazing though. Metal Gear Solid 4, I've said before I can't get into Metal Gear games. I've tried many times. Hopefully one day I can understand them and go through them, and I'll work my way up to this. I don't have Bioshock 1 on PS3, but I have Bioshock 2, another great game, great follow-up to Bioshock 1. Not my favorite of the series, but it's pretty darn close. I remember this game took a long time to install when I put the disc in. Bioshock Infinite, this might be my favorite one. This isn't so much like the Metroid-y type style, this is more just like a straightforward action game. There might be a little bit of backtracking. This sort of has the same format, or the game plays out a lot like Resident Evil 4. That's why I like it a lot. It's a lot just like straightforward action. It feels like a movie in a lot of spots. Really like uncomfortable scenarios in here. It looks really cute, like a Disney movie, like a classic Disney movie or something, the visuals. But it has some really dark, uncomfortable themes in here. I think that's why it sticks out to me a lot. And it can get pretty gory. Yeah, I highly recommend this. Here we go. And the Uncharted games, Drake's Fortune. I really love this game. I played through it a few times. A kind of great sort of Tomb Raider style. It plays like Gears of War type thing where you do the action or the cover shooter. Then there's a lot of climbing around puzzles like Tomb Raider. I think it has a decent pace. Like you do some puzzles and some climbing around, then you get into a gunfight, then puzzles climbing around. You race around in a Jeep or a jet ski or something. It feels like a modern Indiana Jones type story. I started this one, but I never beat it. I couldn't get into it like the first one. I hear this is the best one though, Uncharted 2. Or is it 3? Anyway, I have all 3 of them. I got these for really cheap at Rasputin's. So I need to get to those. Resistance Fall of Man, that was one of the very early ones. Really impressive looking sci-fi shooter game. I thought I had 2, but I didn't. So 2 is the one I need. I have 2 of these if anyone needs one. Resistance Fall of Man. And then part 3 here I hear that one's really good, but I haven't gotten to it. I got that one for 95 cents, so I can't pass that up. On to some fighting games. I got this nice fighting pad, the 6 face button fighting pad with a nice clicky stick right here. This is great for fighting games. I've been playing quite a few fighting games with this. The good thing about this is it works on Street Fighter 5 on PlayStation 5. The new Street Fighter. This will work. You access like legacy controllers in the option, and these old fighting pads will work on it. So I like having this not only for the PlayStation 3 but for the PlayStation 4. Did I say 5? I mean, I'm confused. Yeah, PlayStation 3 controller, but it works on PlayStation 4 with Street Fighter 5. Too many numbers in there. Okay, I'm working on the story mode on this right now. This wasn't ever my favorite series, Dead or Alive, but I like it. I wish I had the newer version of this has Virtua Fighter characters, and it has Mai from Fatal Fury. This one doesn't have those extra characters. Really nice looking game though. I think I beat the arcade. I need to go through and beat the story though. Speaking of story, Tekken 6, I don't have the cover for it, but this has a great story mode. Like, it's an action beat 'em up RPG type thing. And then the arcade mode is awesome. The multiplayer, the one-on-one battles are awesome. Tekken 6, really like that one. I highly recommend that one. If you don't even like fighting games like one-on-one, you might like the beat 'em up action RPG style story campaign, whatever. One of my favorite fighting games ever, Super Street Fighter 4. Great roster, great levels, great gameplay, great look. This is probably the game I've spent the most time on of any modern fighting game, Street Fighter 4. My friends and I used to play this online, or we'd play it together on the same console, or we'd even play the DS version at work during break. Virtua Fighter 5, really like this one. I haven't really played online or anything, but I played through the arcade mode a lot, so I'm starting to get okay at it. This is really a lot of timing and strategy. I was able to beat through all one time, but it's pretty darn hard. The last boss, you only get one chance to fight her, that metal chick. It's a nice looking game. I like this one. Oh, here's one I like. Street Fighter versus Tekken, or Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I kind of prefer the Street Fighter style of fighting more, so I'm glad they went with that. This is the Capcom one. But it's cool to play the Tekken characters in Street Fighter style. I really like this. Has a great roster. Looks really good. Looks a lot like Street Fighter 4, so this is good with me. And then we have Mortal Kombat. It's a sequel and a reboot or a restart at the same time. This is sort of like a remake of Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 and a reboot at the same time, and a sequel at the same time. Man, this is an amazing game. This is wraps up everything I like about Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 into one game. Great graphics. It's the 2D style fighting, so if you know how to play Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, you'll be good at this. Has a really awesome story mode. These Warner Brother games, the fighting games, have really good story modes. It almost feels like a movie. That's one of the things I liked about Mortal Kombat. It reminded me of Enter the Dragon, at least the first game. I've never really played them. My brother used to play them a lot, and I'd watch them, but I thought I should get this God of War collection. It has 1 and 2 in high definition. That's nothing I've ever played, but I think one day I might want to go through and play these, considering how great everyone says they are. And then here's God of War 3. I think I got that for $1, so I have to add that to the collection. Here's one I was really looking forward to, Dragon Crown. It's sort of a beat 'em up RPG type thing, 2D artwork, really nice looking, but I really couldn't get into it. I tried to spend some time on it, but I really couldn't get into it. The visuals are really nice, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna give it another shot. 3D Dot Game Heroes. I heard a lot of good things about this, so I picked it up at GameStop when it was buy 2 get 1 free. It looks like Legend of Zelda with like block graphics, like 3D blocks. Looks really amazing. You can even build your own character out of blocks. You can make him look like Link. Star Ocean, The Last Hope. I was kind of on an RPG kick a couple of years ago, so I thought I'd try that, but these things take so long, these RPG games, so I haven't played it yet. Hopefully I'll get to that one day. Here's one of the greatest purchases I ever made, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. All your favorites around here from the Genesis: Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, the Sonic games. I actually used this to beat Phantasy Star 2 on this thing. It took a long time, but this is what I used to beat Phantasy Star 2. Probably one of the most challenging games I ever beat. That's the first Japanese turn-based role-playing game I ever beat, was Phantasy Star 2. Here's one Roman Dan sent me, Diablo 3. That looks like an amazing dungeon crawler RPG. Another thing I don't want to start right now because I think it would be overwhelming. Two Worlds 2 I hear is really good. I tried one, but I couldn't get into it. It wasn't really that great. Something I would like. It looks a lot like Elder Scrolls, so I'm looking forward to part 2. I hear part 2 is way better. Fallout 3, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Everything you would want in like an RPG. This is real-time action RPG, post-apocalyptic, open world. Really cool theme. It's set like in Washington, D.C. Yeah, this is amazing. Bethesda. Here's another one that Obsidian did. Another Bethesda RPG. Fallout New Vegas. I might like this one even more. Amazing. Same type of stuff as Fallout 3, but this one's kind of nicer to look at. When you get to Vegas, it feels like it takes a long time to get to Vegas, but when you get there, it almost feels like when you get to Vegas in real life. So much stuff is going on. There's all these casinos, and each little casino has its own story. There's a lot of different factions that try to rule this world, little military factions. You try to get in with them. This is an excellent game. More Bethesda stuff. Here's Oblivion. That's one of my favorite. This is my favorite Elder Scrolls game. One of my favorite games of all time. I platinumed it on my old Xbox account. This is one my wife and I would not put down 10 or so years ago. Skyrim 3. I did beat this on PS3. I don't like it as much as Oblivion, but it looks way better. The mechanics are better. A big step up, but I still prefer Elder Scrolls 4. And then here is Final Fantasy X and X2, Final Fantasy X. I really love, this comes with a nice book. Remastered. This is an amazing game. I don't know about Final Fantasy X2, I've never played that. Final Fantasy X was like a religious experience. What a great game. I'm not really I was never into these RPGs, Japanese emo girly little games, but man, this has really won me over, this Final Fantasy X. The whole game looks amazing. It's a PlayStation 2 game. It already looked amazing on that. I couldn't imagine it looking any better. It looks really great on this. And then the achievements and the game saves roll over to your Vita game. If you have this on Vita, I think even PlayStation 4, I think everything rolls over. I haven't played X2, like I said. X1 is just amazing. Grand adventure. Really bizarre world they created, but you kind of get to understand it, and all these characters are very memorable. All the gameplay is memorable. The locations very memorable and endearing. I really love this Final Fantasy X. I don't know if this is my favorite or 7. Really close. I also like 12. But then on to one of my favorite genres. Here's my horror games. This is the end of it. I'll end it off with these. Last of Us 2. That's a big favorite of my buddy Emerald Game Cave. This looks really amazing, but I can't really get into it. I'm gonna have. This is another thing like Metal Gear. I'm just gonna have to get into it because I hear it's like one of the most amazing games ever made. So I have that. The price was right. It says $5 on here, but I think I got it for like $2. so I can't go wrong with that. Here's one I've been wanting to play. I finally got it. I think my wife got it for me last Christmas, but I haven't put it in yet. Yakuza Dead Souls. The gameplay in this looks amazing. It looks like something I like Resident Evil style, but more arcadey. Kind of looks like Dead Rising, but it looks sort of like the control style. It looks more like the old tank Resident Evil. I really want to play this one. Oh yeah, this isn't really a horror game, but I have it in here. Vanquish, a sci-fi shooter type game like Gears of War, but you can jetpack around, you go really fast. This is an awesome game. I really enjoyed this game. I played it through and beat it a couple of years ago. Vanquish. I recommend that one a lot. Here's another amazing horror game. The Evil Within. That's another Bethesda game. This is developed by Shinji Mikami that did Resident Evil 4. And it feels a lot like Resident Evil 4. How I describe this is if you spend all day long playing Resident Evil 4, which is my favorite game of all time, and then you went to bed and had night, like you ate some nachos and had a beer and went straight to bed and then had nightmares. This is what it would be. Evil Within. Like an even scarier Resident Evil 4. It took me a while to get into this. That initial village part, I didn't quite like it as much as the village on Resident Evil 4. But once you get past that part, it's really good. A lot of traps and stuff. That's the hard part of the game is avoiding the traps. The enemies are as hard as any other game, but the traps are what make this game hard. A really eerie game. It covers a lot of different horror genres. Kind of has a twist in the story. I highly recommend this one. Evil Within. I know there's probably an upscaled version on the newer consoles, but this one seemed to be just fine when I played it. It might have longer loading screens, but really enjoyed this. And then Emerald Game Cave, when we did a trade, I didn't know he would send me this, but Siren Blood Curse. This one's really creepy, scary. This is a lot like Resident Evil 4 as well. It's really hard. I haven't been able to beat it. Really great atmosphere, Japanese. I'm surprised this one even got like an American translation. It was episodic in digital form in North America, but I think it got a hard copy over in the PAL areas. PlayStation 3 is region free, thankfully. That was really nice of Emerald Game Cave to give me this. I cherish this a lot. Okay, here's the Silent Hill HD collection. I hear this is a poor conversion, but I just had to have it because I love Silent Hill 2 so much. Maybe I should try to play this version. I know people didn't like it because they got a new voice actor to do the characters. The old guy was like a cult favorite. What's his name? Guy Seehee that plays James. Man, Silent Hill 2 is the best horror game ever, I'd say. It may not be my favorite game, but it's up there, and it's probably the best horror game. The atmosphere just gets you. Silent Hill 3 is a little bit different. I think it's more fast-paced, and I haven't beaten it yet. Emerald says I really need to beat that one. I should start it over because I don't remember. I was really close to the end, but I never got it. But anyway, I have both of these on the other consoles, so I don't know. I just was happy to have it on PS3. Here's one I got at a yard sale, Operation Raccoon City. I still have never played it. I got a nice steel book. I think I got it for a couple bucks. It looks fun. It doesn't look like your typical Resident Evil. It looks like, sort of like a multiplayer battle game with zombies and monsters. So I was happy to find that for a buck or two at a yard sale. And then this is probably one of my favorite games of the generation, Resident Evil 5. I got Gold Edition here with all the extra goodies. I love this game. This might not be a lot of people's favorite Resident Evil, but it's probably within my top 2 or 3 favorite Resident Evils. I spent a lot of time with my buddies and my brother, a lot of friends. I played this through many times with many friends. I think I platinumed it on 3 or 4 consoles. I'm working on it on Switch right now, trying to platinum it. Just really highly recommend this game. More of an action co-op game. I kind of like the pacing of it more. It's a little bit slower than most action shooters, but it's faster than your typical Resident Evil. This is like the pace that does it for me. It still has a nice kind of slow, eerie horror vibe, but enough action where you feel like you can take care of yourself. And it still has the tank control, which I like. I prefer the tank control. Okay, that's about it. Thanks for sticking around that long. I hope that didn't go too long. Give me some recommendations of the things in here, or other different recommendations for PlayStation 3. Great console so far, and the games have been very cheap, at least in my area lately. There's nothing really expensive here, but I've gotten all these for very, very cheap, and I'm happy about it. I don't quite collect for this as much as $360, but I like having these because of that nice backward compatible PS3 I have in the living room. So that just like covers my entire PlayStation library pretty much. Anyway, yeah, give me some recommendations or what you think about these games, or what are your favorite PlayStation 3 games. Anyway, it's been great talking to you, good coming back to you in this format. Hopefully I can do it more. Until next time, this has been Tylord. Bye!